Okay, so we are going to go ahead and start on chapter 9. Put a little brightness in there. Okay, on chapter 9, we are learning our nines times tables, okay? And over here, just like we've done previously, we're just counting by nines, 9, 18, 27, 36. And same thing here at the bottom, we'll skip counting. Over here on number 3, we're skip counting by 2s at the top, 9s at the bottoms. Now there is a nice little trick that I like to teach students when it comes to the 9s that makes them very easy to remember. So for example, if we have 9 times 0, we already know that that's 0 because we've done our zeros and we know anything times 0 is 0. If we do 9 times 1, we already know that that's going to be 9 because it's like looking in a mirror. So the 9 sees itself in a mirror and it just sees itself. So it's itself. But then when we get to 9 times 2, what we can do is this number right here that we are multiplying by 9. We go one number down, and that's going to be our first answer. That's going to be our first number to the answer. And the next number is going to be a factor of the next factor that will equal 9. For example, I'll put all the 9 factors here. So if we have 0 plus 9, we have 1 plus 8, we have 2 plus 7, we have 3 plus 6, 6, that's 7, we have 4 plus 5, and then we just have 5 plus 4. So they repeat itself, so we are all done here. Okay, those are all of our factors. Okay, so we know that 1 plus 8 is what gives us 9. So our next number is 8. And it works all the way down to, it's 10. Yes, all the way down to 10. So 9 times 3, we'll do the same thing. We look at the number that's being multiplied by 9 and we go 1 down. So that would be a 2. So we just subtract 1 from that number and we get to 2. Then we look over here, what are our factors of 9? Which right here, it's 2 and 7. So this is 27. Okay? Then we move on to the next one, 9 times 4. Okay? We look at the number that's being multiplied by 4. We subtract 1 from it. So we just get the number right before. If you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, then it's 3 because that comes before 4. Or you just subtract 1, whatever is easier. So 4 minus 1 gives you 3. Okay? And then we know that 3 plus 6 is going to give us 9. So those are our numbers. So these two add up to equal 9. Okay, and then this one, whatever number we're multiplying by, gives us our first digit. So then we just have to know our other digit from our factors. This one is 9 times 5. So if we go one number down, then this is going to be a 4. And then we know that 4 plus 5 gives us that 9. Now the next number, it starts to switch it, just like we had here, where the numbers kind of just switch around. So the 5 is in the front, the 4 is in the back, and it's going to be the same thing here. If we do 6, it's going to be 6. Let me not cross that one out. And then, so if we have this one, it's going to be 6 plus, just like here, 3. And this one's going to be what? 7 plus 2. So it just keeps going in the same numbers keep repeating themselves, but they just switch over. But if we do 9 times 6, that's when we see that, because 6, if we do one lower, is 5. So that's our first number. And then the next one is 4. So 54. 9 times 7. 1 less than 7 is 6. And then the other number is 3. Oh, no, hold on, baby. There's none. Don't come in here. Mommy's working. Don't interrupt. Okay, next one we have 9 times 8. And 9 times 8, if you do 1 less than the 8, it is 7. And then your other number is 2. And then 9 times 9. Okay, the first number would be an 8, because 9 minus 1 is 8. And the next one would be a 1. We get that from there. And then our last one that doesn't fit there, I'll put it here, 9 times 10. And that would be, if we look at this one, is 0 and 9, but it would be the opposite. So it would be 10 minus 1, which is 9. And then the other one is 0, so it's 90. And that's a quick little trick to do our 9s, so we always just know, because if I see 9 times 4, I know that 1 less than 4 is 3. So if I know my factors of 9, then I know that this is 36. Okay, that's an easy way of knowing our 9s and never forgetting them either. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and erase that, and we'll move on to the rest of the lesson. Okay, over here, we are on lesson, the back side of 9A, and it says there were 6 baseball teams in the league. Each team had 9 players. How many players were in the league? Okay, and this is a used workbook, so sorry about the writings, but the way you would do this is, you know, there's 6 baseball teams. Okay, that's what they tell you. Each team had 9 players. Okay, so you just multiply. And remember, what did we say? Whatever number is being multiplied by 9, that's the one that we subtract the 1 from. So don't get confused and subtract from the 9. It has to be the other number, not the 9. So 6 minus 1 is 5. And then we know that 5 plus 4 equals 9. So we know it's 54. Okay, so that answer here is incorrect. So don't look at that. Look at what I'm doing here on this board. Okay. Okay, next one says, I gave $1 to the cashier, and she gave me an apple and 9 dimes. How many cents worth of change did I get? So if you have 9 dimes, that's the same as saying 9 times, how much is 1 dime? 10 cents. So 9 times 10, and we do the same trick with the 9s where we say 10 minus 1, that's the number that's being multiplied by 9. So we leave the 9 alone. We come over here and we look at the number being multiplied by 9. And then we say, okay, 10 minus 1 is 9. And 9 plus what equals 9? Well, you don't have to add anything to 9 to make it 9, so you just add 0, right? So then this is 90, because we're just adding the 0. Okay? So 90 cents. It's really important to always look back and add in what they're asking you. So it says, over here it said how many players were in the league. So it wasn't 81, it was 54, but it's 54 players. This one says how many cents. So we have to write our answer, 90 cents. Okay. Next one says 9 children ate 3 slices of pizza. How many slices of pizza were eaten? So this is 9 times 3. And then again, we do 3 minus 1. Okay, we have the 3 right there. And that's the one that we're going to subtract from. We subtract 1 from that, and we get a 2. And then we know that 2 plus 7 gives us 9, so it's 27. Okay. 27 what? How many slices of pizza were eaten? So we say, this is how we answer fully. We say 27 slices. Okay, that's our answer. Okay. Over here, it's a similar kind of thing like we did in lesson 9A, where we're skip counting by 9s. And then we're doing that again for number 2. And then we're doing that on the bottom for number 3. But at the top, we're skip counting by 5s. Okay. Then we move on here. Okay. And it's some more word problems, very similar to what we've been doing. Also, these are more skip counting, a lot of review. Okay. Okay, and remember, I will go over some of these because a lot of students are still kind of confused with these. So on page 126, lesson 9D, if you look there, then there are these add or subtract problems, and a lot of students are having a hard time with this, okay? So I really want you guys to practice this at home. Number 13, I'll write it here, 91 minus 45, okay? And the way I'm going to explain this is so that students can really think about it when they're doing it. When you first start subtracting or adding double digit or more numbers, then you always start all the way in the back of the number. You know it's the back because the front is near your signs, okay? So here's the subtraction sign. So the ones that are close to that are in the front, and the other guys right here are in the back, okay? So when we're subtracting, we can't just subtract, we can't just put the 5 on the top. Whatever number's on the top, that's the one that we are saying, we are reading the number starting from there. So we're reading our problem starting from the top number. So we would say 1 minus 5. We cannot just mix them up and say 5 minus 1 because 5's on the bottom. We're starting from the top. So 1 minus 5. Okay, if you have one item, you cannot give anybody 5. So this guy over here is like, please let me borrow 5 things. And this guy says, I only have 1, I can't. I don't have enough. So he says, but let me see if my neighbor has any. So he comes over here to his neighbor and he says, hey guy, do you have enough to let me borrow 5 items to this guy? And he says, well, I mean, I could give you a 10. Because remember, this is our tens place right here. The 9 and the 4 are in our tens place. These are our ones. So if 9 is going to give us 1, this is really 90. Because if you say the number, it's 91. So this is 90. So when we're taking 1 away, we're taking 110. Okay, so that's why it goes in front and makes this 11. So we take 1 away, this becomes an 8. We put the 1 in the front, and that becomes 11. So now we have 11 minus 5, and that's something we can do. Now we can give him more, what he needs, the 5. Okay, and then we'll have 6 left over. Okay, now we go over here and we say 8 minus 4, and that's 4. So now we can solve correctly. Okay, if your number at the top is too small to give the number at the bottom what it wants, then you cannot do it. You have to borrow from your neighbor. Now let's do number 14, just so that we can get extra. Well, actually 15. 15 is the subtraction one, so we'll do that. Okay, 86 minus 73. And this one we don't have to borrow, so that's kind of nice. But when we do this one, we just do 6 minus 3, and we always start in the back. How do we know it's the back? Because the front numbers are next to the sign. So these are our front numbers, these are our back numbers. So 6 minus 3 is 3, and 8 minus 7 is 1. So see how nice it is when the top number is big? Because we don't have to borrow because we have enough. If you have 6 items and somebody wants to borrow 3, you have enough to give them. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch that number up just for an extra visual help. What if this was 82 minus 73? Now the number on top is too small. This one's bigger. We don't have 3 items. We only have 2 at the top. So we have to go to our neighbor over here and say, hey neighbor, will you let us borrow a 10? And the neighbor says, sure, go ahead and take one. And we bring that over here. Now we have a 10. Okay, a 10 plus the 2 makes a 12. So 12 minus 3 is 9. 7 minus 7 is 0. And we do not have to put zeros in front of our numbers. We only put them if they're in the back. So this is just 9. Okay, I just wanted to give an extra little visual of that because this is something that a lot of kids are having a hard time with. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that I see that's a little bit different. The thing that I will go over again just to make sure because it was a little bit of a harder concept for the students. So this is on page 129 and it's number 3 and it says 8y equals 40. Okay, so what I'm telling the kids in class to do is when you see a letter Y, that's the same thing as seeing a blank. It means 8 times something we don't know. This Y, we have no idea what number that is. That's the unknown. That's what we're trying to find. So 8 times something that we don't know equals 40. Another way of writing that is 8 times the unknown, that's why it's blank because we don't know what it is, equals 40. So if you write it this way, it helps you visualize what you're supposed to be looking for. So you're supposed to find what number you can multiply by 8 to get 40. And once you figure out that that is 5, then you can bring down your Y, because that's what we were looking for at the beginning. And then you can say equals, and where did we find the number that we didn't have? Whatever's on the blank. So that's what we bring down, equals 5. So that's how we do those. Okay. Let's see. Okay, there's some more. A lot of these are just review. The 9s are different, but the 9s, if you just stick to that formula that I gave you, you will know your 9s and they will be so easy. Okay, so that's all for chapter 9. If you guys have any questions, make sure that you guys message me. Okay, let me know. Thank you. Bye.